The sign read Smithville, 15 miles. Smithville. Of course, it had to be something like that, Seema thought. A perfect name for middle of nowhere, Wyoming. For the umpteenth time she cursed herself for not staying in Laramie. But no, it was only 4 in the afternoon when she had reached Laramie, and she felt she could easily put in another 2 or 3 hours of driving, and so she had topped off her tank and pushed on. Stupid. Now that she had time to consider it carefully, the entire idea of driving from Oak Island, North Carolina, to her new job in Portland, Oregon, was stupid. At least her employer was paying for the move, so she wasn't driving cross-country in a car filled to the roof with all her worldly possessions. Thank goodness for professional movers. The company would have flown her in too, and put her up at a hotel while she waited for her stuff to arrive. But no. Once again, no. Seema decided she needed an adventure. She had told herself the same thing she had told her friends and family. It would be just like the road trip to upstate New York she took between high school and college, all by herself, exploring new faces and interesting foods, with nothing but audiobooks and her playlist for company. An introvert's ultimate dream. Somehow it didn't occur to her that there was a big difference between driving cross-country south to north and driving across the same country east to west. A 13-hour drive from North Carolina to upstate New York was only a little bit fatiguing for a girl of 17, with the added reward of arriving at her destination at the end of the day. The same 13-hour drive from North Carolina to the west was merely a fraction of the long, onerous 44-hour journey, and by the end of the second day, it was beginning to feel old. Somehow, 10 years later, a prodigiously long solo trip didn't feel like an adventure. It felt like a chore. Seema was sick and tired of her car. She had it professionally cleaned and detailed before the trip, and yet it smelled stale. She was sick and tired of her audiobooks and audio courses. She loved them, usually, but apparently not enough to last 44 hours in a row. She was sick and tired of eating and getting back into her car, or waking up and getting back into her car. She would gladly have breakfast and walk off to visit something ridiculous, like the world's biggest ball of twine, as long as it meant not getting back into her car and driving. Now, 3 hours out of Laramie, Wyoming, and nowhere near anything else, the sign for Smithville was a welcome sight. Seema didn't care if it was a little more than a glorified truck stop. She was determined to find a place to stay there and park for at least a day. The sign for Smithville was followed by another, promising gas, food, and hotel. There were none of the standard logos for McDonald's or Holiday Inn, but it didn't matter. No attractions, no overlooks, no museums, no open-air exhibits, no pointless world's biggest objects of any kind. It was all right. Seema was certain she would find something. She did. 2 miles outside of Smithville, she followed a bend in the road and gasped. They didn't say anything about being the site of the world's biggest storage facility. This is surreal. What's this thing doing here? After hours on the road, in the gathering dark, the structure looked enormous to Seema's tired eyes. All steel, tinted glass, and limestone, dazzling in its array of bright blue lights. The side road leading to the facility was marked by a plain, neat, moderately sized, although well-lit sign, Smithville Storage.